Hey, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Stokastic.com MLB strategy show. 12 gamer today, coming off a 6-game Monday. Now we got 12 games for Tuesday. And then my hope, I don't know, I haven't even looked yet. My hope is that we get some good day baseball tomorrow. It's the best part about baseball is that you get these day slates, at least a couple of them a week, right? Tomorrow, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll have a noon slate, 12:10 Eastern, Rockies, Marlins. That'll be fun. There's 3 of those games. And then Thursday, anything good on Thursday? Yeah, bunch of day games. So yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, day games, 12 gamer today. The DraftKings 600K Mega Immaculate Inning. So that should be fun. I got a couple tickets to that one from those satellites. Or I don't even know what you'd call them. Satellite. So let's have some fun. Let's make it happen. Let's win some money today. And my God, pitching is strange up top. There's one guy that we're getting not very much of, only has a 4.5K prop, has been good lately, but the strikeout stuff has been lacking, to say the least. And he's in a good matchup against the team that we often target. Let me know if you guys know who I'm talking about. And we'll see if we need to get maybe a little bit more than the field there with him not pulling all that much ownership at all. But we'll get through all of this, all of the key necessary pitchers, all of the stacks, some top bats, maybe some home run plays at the end of this one. And we'll send you on your way. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out as always. If you don't mind, take a single second this fine morning, atone for your sins, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's free. We got 17 thumbs up. I think we can improve the viewer to thumbs up ratio. Just a subtle reminder. We forget. I get it. Totally understood. But hey, if you don't mind, it's not going to cost you a thing. And if you end up hating this, hit the thumbs down. Be sure to do it twice, though. And if you're watching or listening after the fact, guys, feel free to leave a comment. I try and read and respond to all of those. Appreciate those comments. For those of you that can't watch live, watch, mid-afternoon, later in the day, all that stuff. We're still here. We see you. But let's get into it. Yep, Rasmussen is the one guy that I don't know what to make of him at a mid to high K 7K price point today against Texas. We'll talk about all of it though. I mean, you've got an $8,500 Spencer Strider. You have Carlos Rodon at 10-3 against Cleveland. Hunter Greene against Milwaukee. Like, these are the guys pulling the most ownership. I don't think there's anybody that jumps off as like, whoa, we have to play that guy. I'm a huge George Kirby fan in general, right? Like, I really like George Kirby, always have. I think he's really good. And this is a guy that, works with pinpoint command, not exactly the type of pitcher that's going to wow you, but phenomenal command. It's funny because he's done such a good job over the years of, limiting walks, has been great at home. His first 2 starts have been brutal though. And he cruised through like the first 3 or 4 innings last time out against Washington and completely imploded. So I don't know. He's only made 2 starts on the year, right? This guy was out with a shoulder for the first 2 months of the season. So I don't know. Can he get it back today? We'll find out. Justin Sports, Laffy, do you ever make parlays? And if so, do you track them seriously or just for shits and giggles? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. No, I track all of my bets. All of my bets. Use the Juice Reel app, track all of my bets. But yeah, absolutely. They're plus EV parlays though, Justin Sports, so it's different. And I think you can find edges with same game parlays, but you have to really intimately understand the sport you're dealing with. Like in basketball, there are ways to grab unders on a guy, overs on his backup. Maybe he's not fully healthy. Maybe they're going to go small in this matchup. There's ways to do it, but same game parlays will wreck like 99% of people that bet them. You just have to pick your spots with them. And parlays. There's an edge to parlays. Anyone that tells you never bet parlays, it's not accurate. It's just most people shouldn't because they have no idea how to size their bets. That's all. Anyway, let's get into it. Talk a little bit of baseball here. And by the way, free month of OddsShopper Portfolio EV. Should check that out, Justin Sports. We have the parlay generator, which generates, dozens of plus EV parlays for you at a time, and you can add them straight into your bet slip with a single click. I mean, it's like the DFS player's dream for sports betting. Those of you who don't want to just sweat straight bets all the time. But yeah, let's do it. So we got 12 games, and we've got more than enough to talk about from a pitching standpoint, right? So number one, Spencer Strider, elephant in the room here. Guy makes one start, goes back on the IL, and now he's made what? 2 starts? Or did he make 2 starts and go on the IL and he came back? Made one, went down for another month, and then he's made 2 starts, 4 1/3, 4 2/3 innings, threw 90 pitches last time out. At 8,500, I do kind of get it. Like 4 2/3 innings, but 90 pitches. That was against Philly. Held him to 1 run, struck out 7. He did walk 4. But you're talking about somebody, I like to look at it like this. If Spencer Strider was, let's say, full strength and came into the season, nothing holding him back, how much is he priced at? Possibly 11K, high 10s. You would think something in that ballpark, right? Like Spencer Strider's got to be up well over 10K. There's no denying that. Now, I don't love the matchup. There are plenty of matchups I would prefer over the Arizona Diamondbacks, mostly from a strikeout perspective. Run the bases said 10.5. Yeah, dude, it wouldn't shock me if he was 11K either. So I'll tell you right now. I mean, it's unimportant, but we all know that he would be super expensive. And that's kind of all that matters in this spot. But you've got him against Arizona. The total that they have here is a little bit surprising. 4.5 runs. Pretty significant. But once again, are we worried about that enough to where we don't play him, to where we don't touch Spencer Strider here? I think the answer is no, because 8,500 on a guy like this, coming off a 7 strikeout game, still a little rust, walked 4. To me, there's still a lot of meat on the bone there at 8,500. And I agree it's a tough matchup. No denying that whatsoever, but the strikeout upside at 8,500, again, to me is probably enough for us to make a case that Spencer Strider is a really good play today. That's what it comes down to. I mean, you've got Carlos Rodon. He's 10-3. He's had phenomenal strikeout stuff this year. 30+% K rate. He's got Cleveland, another team that doesn't strike out at a really high clip, but he's getting 23% ownership on DraftKings. Hunter Greene, and by the way, you've got this, mega immaculate inning over on DraftKings, 600K prize pool, 150K up first. Monster contest they've got going. They've been running these satellites for it for like 2 weeks now. It's huge. 6,000 entries, 150K up top. There are going to be spots where you want to get different, but I'll tell you the truth. I'm not really sure that you need to go full out weird on this slate. There isn't a single pitcher right now that we have projected for more than 30%, more than 28.9%. That's Spencer Strider. Take a look at the ownership projections here in the top pitchers tool over at Stokastic. 28.9, 23 for Carlos Rodon, 19 for Hunter Greene, 19 for George Kirby, 17 tough park for Pablo Lopez. Dude, I had so many home run bets from that game. 14 runs, no home run. No, 1. Sorry, Lawrence Butler. Didn't have him. 14 runs and 1 home run in the entirety of the game. Brian Bayo, 15.7%. I understand this with the strikeout upside, but I was looking over some of the Brian Bayo stuff. He has not gotten through the 5th inning in 5 straight starts. Probably have to bite the bullet here at 6,300 though. Kikuchi, 6,700. I get that. Pretty respectable strikeout stuff. We've got him as one of the best value pitchers on the slate, 15% top value, top 2 value. And then Freddie Peralta, 9%. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys about Drew Rasmussen, because it's like he's 7,700. The Texas Rangers, in no uncertain terms, are abysmal. And he's been really good. It's just he hasn't had wicked strikeout stuff. You know, he's been good. Let's see. So the Texas Rangers are middle of the road strikeout team against righties. We already know that. You know, they're not the type of team that's going to strike out at a, you know, Angels or Colorado clip, but middle of the road. But they walk at 7.3%. That's in the basement with the Rockies and the Twins. They have an 86 WRC plus against righties. That's sitting 27th in the league, you know? And they've not really possessed a ton of power either. 141 ISO is 23rd in baseball. Of course, things can change over the course of the season. I understand all of that. But still. Evan Carter's expected back too, by the way. Take that for what it's worth. He got off to a dreadful start on the year. So, you know, they're healthy again. Maybe that helps. Possible. They've definitely, the offense is, let's give them this. The offense has woken up a little bit of late. But Rasmussen 7,700, I don't think is crazy against this Texas team. I also don't think he's a priority at all. But I think he's the type of guy that if you got like 10% of him and he's coming in around like 7% ownership, that's not nuts. Take a second to touch on weather for a second, just because you've got so many games going. Fortunately, yesterday, we really didn't have to deal with any weather. This game in Tampa looks like it could be a problem. Remember, we never had to worry about that in seasons past because, you know, that heinous stadium, the Trop, had a roof on it with catwalks 7 feet above the grass. But you didn't have to worry about rain. This could be an issue. And this game, real possibility that they don't play. Detroit and the White Sox, here's another one that could be a problem. Looks like everything else should be okay for the most part. Should be. But the big concern there is this Texas and Tampa Bay game. If rain becomes an issue, then we're not touching any pitchers from this one. But it's funny because the one guy I wanted to ask you about, you guys, because you're always asking me about this guy. And I think rightfully so. Matter of fact, he's coming off a really good start last time out and continues to get priced in the gutter. What about Bowden Francis against Philly? A Philly team that just got swept out of their own park. I was at Sunday's game by the Milwaukee Brewers. Some dysfunction right now. And he's coming off, surprise, surprise, a 5-inning scoreless 6K game against, you guessed it, the Texas Rangers. So is there anything here on Bowden Francis, who has one of the best value scores on the slate behind only Brian Bayo, is getting 3% ownership against Philly? I want to say no, but there's part of me that is actually somewhat intrigued, especially if Bryce Harper, after getting plunked in the elbow, remains out. I don't know. Josh, Philly's got good lefties, especially if Harper's back. Yeah. I mean, look, he missed that Milwaukee series. They had a day off yesterday. You would think he could be back, but last report I saw from only a couple of days ago is that he was still in pain and there was a lot of swelling still. So it doesn't seem like something that's going to be a long-term issue, but would I be shocked if Harper was out another game or two? No, it wouldn't surprise me all that much, but probably a pass on Bowden Francis here. You could definitely look to Philly's bats. Francis has dealt with home run issues throughout the course of the year. Last start, he locked them down, only allowed 3 hits, no runs. But if you're talking about just cheap pitchers, you're probably just better off getting to Brian Bayo. Even though he is getting some ownership, he has the best value score of anybody on this slate, 6,300, against an Angels team that strikes out at a higher clip against righties than any other team in the league. That's helpful. Now we just need this guy to get through 5 innings. Like, at least qualify for the win, dude. Go look at his last 5 starts. It's bizarre. You know, he's been not good. But even in some of these, like 4 2/3, no runs, 1 strikeout. How do you not get through the 5th? Last time out, 4 2/3, 3 hits, 2 walks. So what, 5 base runners, not including, any 77 pitches pulled before the 5th, pulled with 1 out to go. 2 outs in the 5th. I don't really understand that. Like, to me, it seems weird that this guy's not able to close out, or I should say not allowed, not permitted to close out 5 innings of work when he's sitting at 77 pitches, 88 pitches prior, 4 innings, only 7 base runners, 7 Ks. I can understand the Atlanta one. He gave up 10 hits and 7 runs. But aside from that, like, it's not like he's getting beat up. He's not getting knocked around. So I don't know. That worries me a little bit. Not going to lie. The 4.7 total for the Angels too, but at 6,300, you don't need a phenomenal start. I'd just love to know we could get like 95 pitches from Bayo, get him through 5 innings. It'd be really helpful. Still prefer him over Bowden Francis, but then who was it? Run the Bases mentioned that he'd rather just find an extra $1,000 for Kikuchi. Yeah, agreed. On a 12-game slate, you're going to have some pretty decent stack options at affordable prices too. And Kikuchi's been more than good enough. He's not elite. They paid him like he was elite, but Kikuchi's good enough to where at 6,700 against Boston, perfectly fine. 20.4% strikeout rate, walks too many batters. That's a problem, but I'm okay with this. Perfectly fine. The swinging strike rate on him is way down this year, though. And I don't know if that's just a matchup thing, whatever it may be. But you look at some of these recent matchups, like 5 innings, 1 run against the Yankees, really limited them. Not a great game from a DFS standpoint, but from an actual real life standpoint, great start against a good baseball team. Was good against the Miami Marlins, 5 2/3 scoreless, only 4 Ks though. Dodgers, 5 2/3, 1 earned, 7 Ks. Kikuchi's been pretty good. He should really be like a mid 7K pitcher. It's just that he hasn't really had a lot of strikeout stuff this year. Let's hope we get back to that now because, Boston's the type of team, and of course Kikuchi's a left-handed pitcher, that they're not bad. We'll call them above average, but against lefties, super average. Just right in the middle of the league pretty much everywhere, except K rate, 23.6%. They are, middle of the league. So pretty average matchup. I'd say slightly below average matchup if we're being completely honest here for Kikuchi. Slightly below average matchup for Kikuchi. Sugano just doesn't have any strikeout stuff. I don't see why you'd go to him over Kikuchi here. Ryan Bergert in San Francisco. I admittedly don't know a ton about this fella. Let's see. How many pitches is he going to throw? He got optioned to AAA after throwing 4 innings through 4 appearances. That was the 7th of May. Yeah, we're not going to Ryan Bergert here. Tanner Bybee. George Kirby's the one. 19%, still getting 19% despite 2 hideous starts out of the gate coming off the IL. Are you guys going to George Kirby today? Are we doing it? Are we going back to the well with George Kirby? Despite 2 bad starts, he's still top 5 in top 2 pitcher probability today in the top pitcher tool. I think I would consider it. Actually, I know I would. I'm going to entertain going to George Kirby here. This is a Baltimore team this year. It's so funny. Like, you want to talk about a fall from grace. You're looking at a team that last year there were a lot of people out there, hey, this team could get to the World Series. And this year, man, they don't have it. They're also striking out at the third highest clip in the league against righties. And Kirby, again, hasn't been good, but you can say whatever you want. This is still a phenomenal pitcher's park. I'm not going to let 2 starts or a couple of weird games across the board, dissuade me from going to a spot for Mariners pitchers that has been so good to us over the past few years. I mean, you look at the park factor, right? Rolling 3-year average for T-Mobile Park. It is a worse hitter park, not only than any other team, but obviously worse than San Francisco, worse than Wrigley, all of these super pitcher-friendly parks, and T-Mobile is at the top of all of those. And the thing that stands out the most to me, check this out. Look at strikeouts. No team or no park has been more favorable for strikeouts. And obviously that's because there's a pretty decent rotation for this Seattle team. But still, this is over the last 3 years. No park has produced more strikeouts than T-Mobile Park. So it's dead last in park factor, which is good for a pitcher, right? So number 1 for a pitcher, and number 1 in strikeouts. It's just a great park. Sometimes you got to embrace the uncomfortable. And this is one of those spots in George Kirby. While it's uncomfortable, I'm okay with it. He got through 5 innings. He threw 78 pitches. Would have thrown more had he not gotten blown up. I mean, I think he probably came back out for the 5th, and didn't even record an out. Either way, you get if he can cruise, I don't think you're going to see any real limitations on the pitch count. Steven, I think Hunter Greene will be my most owned SP1. Yeah, well, Hunter Greene's nasty. Going up against Milwaukee, obviously not the best park. It's a great American small park here, and we know that that's very favorable for hitters. But it hasn't stopped him. 88 degrees there for what it's worth. But yeah, anytime you want to go to Hunter Greene, nobody's going to hold you back. Interestingly, though, this guy comes off the IL, and I don't know if this is just, a little bit of rust or getting back in the groove, but strikeout stuff has been non-existent since he returned. This is somebody that was going out there and racking up 8+ strikeouts every time he towed the rubber. Now, his last 2 starts, 2 and 3 strikeouts. We can actually see if there's anything worth digging into here. Kansas City, and he had the Cubs prior to that. He was on the IL for what, like 2 weeks? Yeah, a little over 2 weeks. I probably don't worry too much about that. Let's see here. Where is it? There it is. All right, so yeah, it's just wild. Like, look at his swinging strike rate. 6 and 6% over his last 2 games, 15% on the season. 90% zone contact in both of those games, way up from the rest of his starts. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just a blip on the radar. It's certainly possible. A guy that makes 30+ starts a year, you look at 2 of them and you zoom out, they mean absolutely nothing. But it is odd to see something like that when he comes back, off of the IL. Yeah, I don't know. Especially when it was with a groin. You kind of need a fully functioning groin if you're an MLB pitcher. See if his velocity is all right. Oh, come on. Load. Well, maybe we'll come back to it. Either way. Oh, here we go. Brooks is taking a long time to load, but it'll get us there. I'm just genuinely curious to see if there's anything here that stands out. That's what happens when you have brooksbaseball.net. I'm the only person left on earth that still uses this. No, velocity's fine. Was he just not missing bats? It's very possible. I don't know. Greene's honestly, Stephen Greene to me would be similar to Kirby in the sense that you're taking some risk there. The difference is that you're paying $1,300 more on DraftKings for Greene than you would be for Kirby, which is fine, but we'll see. So let's see what the four-seamer and curveball whiff percentage was on these last two starts. Probably in the gutter. But if that, I don't know if there's a single, you guys can tell me. I don't know if there's a single super safe pitcher today. Like, I think Strider still has some question marks for sure, right? Kirby has some question marks without question. So, yeah. Looks like wow, nothing on that curve. No whiffs on that curve last game. Whatever. You want to go back to somebody like Greene, I think it's fine. Pablo Lopez against the Athletics. Again, another guy that I wouldn't consider particularly safe. Look at the run totals for these teams. Carlos Rodon against Cleveland, 3.7. That's the lowest on the slate. And then San Diego against Landon Root. Maybe he's a guy that we could consider here. San Diego kind of fell off a cliff for a bit there. He's been, again, with Landon Root, one of the many themes on this slate is there's nothing to just suggest that he's safe. And it's a matchup against the Padres team that doesn't strike out at a really high clip. But 3% Landon Root actually doesn't seem all that insane if we wanted to get over the field there. Sub 4 run total for the Padres. Roop's had a respectable strikeout rate. I think he's averaging a K per inning, right? Like 9 Ks per 9, if I recall. Yeah, exactly 9 Ks per 9. 22.6% K rate. Not bad. Let's see his home and road splits. Typically, this type of park in San Francisco can promote some pretty significant home and road splits. Anything on Landon Root? Home. Wow. K rate 16%. But you know what? He's only made 3. I'm looking at it now. He's made 3 home starts and 8 road starts. So that doesn't really tell us anything at all. He doesn't seem crazy. It doesn't seem crazy to get there. And then, as much as we don't want to get to Kirby, not everybody, but plenty of us, third lowest implied total on the slate is this Baltimore Orioles team in Seattle at T-Mobile. And then Texas against Drew Rasmussen. So, play this how you feel safe. I think Christopher Sanchez is probably a little bit overpriced in this spot. Tough to get to. Same price as Hunter Greene, except one of those guys is pulling almost 20%. Christopher Sanchez is pulling sub 5%. I don't think you need to get weird. What did I just click? I don't think you need to get particularly weird in a spot like this, but I will say it feels like there are a few guys at lower ownership that we should probably be looking at. In chat, give me your favorite sub 10% owned pitcher today. And that's a lot of them. That's 17 pitchers that we're projecting for sub 10%. So give me one guy that you guys thoroughly, or I should say, have some level of conviction that they're better than the ownership would suggest right now. You have Tyler McGill against the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw against the Mets. That's rough. Zach Gallen against the Braves in Atlanta. Fistula says Kershaw. Oh, $6,900 Kershaw against the Mets. Hot Rod, Billy, both of you guys on Roop. Same with you, Dwayne. Okay. A couple Bybee responses as well. Ram said Bobby could K8 or give up 8. Yeah, that's the type of pitcher he is, and that's, kind of how the Yankees function on top of it. Bayo, a few answers on Bayo. Now, Bayo's like the 6th highest owned pitcher right now. We're going to get a bunch of him. We'll get to our exposures right now. Rob, Tyler Mahle feels like a lock to me. 2 things there. Number one, Park does not play well for pitchers. That I can overlook if it's a good pitcher. And Tyler Mahle's a decent enough pitcher. Doesn't have great strikeout stuff. Typically has to pitch deep into a game to pitch off a near 9K, pay off a near 9K price point. But the biggest problem, we talked about it earlier, the weather. There's just a possibility that this game is a real problem. And if it is, which it looks like it could be right now, like a legitimate issue, I'm not going to Mahle or Rasmussen. But interestingly, none of you guys mentioned Rasmussen here. Oh, Devin did. If we don't have any serious concerns with rain, I'd get to a little bit of him. I'd consider it. Aggressive Goose. Doesn't Tampa Bay have one of the best WRC pluses against righties? They are 8th. But, you think about it, it's like Seattle's 112. They're 109. They're essentially top 5, Or you could say they're 12th. But everybody's grouped up there. And then there's a big gap where you have Dodgers, Yankees, Arizona, Chicago, Cubs. Now, they've definitely been better. But they strike out a decent amount, too. They're top 10 in strikeouts. And power, I think they're middle of the pack. Yeah, 18th. Either way, they've been fine, and they're better at home than they are on the road. We know that. Much more favorable park. Ace Wavy. Who are the 3 best pitchers for today? Well, let's pull up the Sims and check out our exposures. And as you guys know, you ever want to use these Sims, hit me up in the DM. Getting a lot of DMs recently, as you should be. Say, hey, Laffy, I was watching the show. Can I get that promo code to get a month of the Sims at a significant discount? And I'll say absolutely. And I'll shoot it over your way. That's all you got to do. My handle's right there, Laffy_D, LOUGHY_D. Right there under my face. Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be. Hit me up. Let me know. And let's do it. I've been showcasing a lot of wins lately for Stokastic avatars and Sims users. We had the 100K on Memorial Day from Danny C. We had the same guy, Lithuma, take down 50K 2 days after getting the Sims. Won, and then the next week he hit another 50K. PGA Millie winner last week, or 2 weeks ago, sorry. Just some monster wins. There's Danny with the Memorial Day win. There's Lithuma's first 50K. There's our Millie winner. And there's Joey Prindle with the 20K last week. But how about this? I always tell you guys, I want to showcase your wins. Another one yesterday in the knuckleball. Fantasy gains. Rocking that beautiful Stokastic avatar. 1 hit away from 50K. Another submission for the Hall of Fame. 10K. 3rd place to our boy Fantasy Gains in the big premier flagship contest over on DraftKings. The tools are just absolutely crushing right now, man. It's so fun to see our users, our Sims users, people rocking the avatars, take down tournaments day after day. Whether it's the main ones, whether it's the mini max, it doesn't matter. The 4-seamer, we're seeing it happen. And I love it. So hit me up. Or, as always, you want to get access to these tools and do it essentially for free? Simply go into the description of this video, okay? And sign up. Click the link. Sign up with any of our sportsbook partners and get Stokastic Sims Core for free. It's $120 value. All you do is click that link. Click claim offer on whichever one of these you're not on yet. And if you're in non-legal betting states, a lot of pick'em sites, a lot of these pick'em DFS sites, click that. Once you're done, after clicking that, sign up, make the minimum deposit. That's all you got to do, minimum deposit. As long as you click this offer, you're good. Make the minimum deposit and then place that on whatever you want or create, a pick'em lineup. Once that bet settles, take a screenshot of that and a screenshot of your welcome email and email it to us at support@stokastic.com with those screenshots and just say, hey, can I get the Sims Core for MLB? And here's the cool part. Let's say you signed up on Caesars, Fanatics, BetMGM, and you signed up on Underdog. That's 4 months. And the minimum deposit, I think, on 3 of those is only $5. So you're talking $25 getting you 4 months of Sims for whatever sports you want. You can mix and match and play it however it is you see fit. So use that link in the description, sign up on any book, get Sims free. Just simply follow those 4 steps and you're in. So a lot of ways to do it. DM me, get the promo, do it here, whatever you want to do. Rock the avatar. Get a free month for finishing top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. We make it easy for you guys to check these tools out because we know you're going to love them and we want you to win. Jorge, thank you for the super chat, brother. Another win, second in the $1 mini max. Thanks for your shows and Sims. Hell yeah, man. Thanks for the super chat. Jorge was actually in this one, right? Yeah, top right. There he is. Last week. First in the mini max using the Sims. Hey. Love it. And Jorge, you took down what, like 50? Didn't you take down 50K earlier or last month? So guys, just on a heater. Anyway, let's go to our top pitchers, and I'll answer this question first. JB Yankees, do you make changes to the first lineup given or put that lineup and keep it as is? Like in the Sims? Well, a lot of times, like I'll trim down, and I know Josh does this too. If I'm in lineups, I might trim down ownership. So like, and projected fantasy points. So like, say the highest projected fantasy score in this is 111. You know, maybe you'll say, don't give me anything above just arbitrary number 108. So nothing projected that high. And then ownership, the highest ownership sum is 176. There's a lot in that range. Maybe I don't want anything with ownership north of 150 or 140. You can set those type of filters. And then a lot of times you'll filter that stuff out. But no, you know, if you like the lineup up top, play it for sure. You can go in here and you can set uniques as well. So like if you set 6 uniques today, that means you're getting 6 unique players in these lineups. It's going to flatten out, your exposure a little bit. There's a lot of ways, a lot of things you can do. You can do ROI boost individual or stack ROI, set exposure caps. If you don't want 80% of a pitcher, you can set it at 50. You can do all that. But let's take a look at our pitching exposures. So we've got Bayo, number 1, Strider, Greene. All of them were getting 30+% of. Woo-hoo. 22% Kirby. All right, I can live with that. 23% Pablo Lopez. All right. Look, as much as it disgusts me that he can't get out of the 5th inning, I do understand the Brian Bayo exposure at 6,300 against the team that has the highest K rate in the league against righties. I get it. It's uncomfortable, but that's the way this goes. Guess what? You couldn't give me a single pitcher on this slate that isn't somewhat uncomfortable. Go ahead. Tell me, give me one pitcher. This isn't rhetorical. I'm serious. Like, give me one pitcher that doesn't have some type of blemish, be it matchup, park, price point, ownership, Carlos Rodon is awesome. He would be the closest for me just because he's been so good this year and he's got a monster 30+% K rate. That would be the one guy. But you're also paying 10-3 for him. And that 10-3 could end up not looking good if Spencer Strider or Lopez or George Kirby or Hunter Greene happen to have solid performances. Because, you're paying $2,100 more for Rodon than George Kirby. You're paying $1,800 more than an elite pitcher in Strider, who's just, not been on the mound due to injuries. But look, if there's a guy with the fewest blemishes, it has to be Carlos Rodon today. I think so. I don't necessarily know that he's without them, but looks better. We're still only getting 12%, and it's clearly a price point thing. And yeah, look, I don't disagree with that one bit, Dwayne, that Trout being back changes the Angels. But I don't say it changes them completely. It's still one hitter. It makes the matchup definitely less appealing than it would have been if Mike Trout wasn't in the lineup. Of course. But I don't think it's fair to say that it changes it completely. It's still one hitter. Does make it shittier, though. And this guy came back. What's he been back for, like 3 games? And clearly he hasn't skipped a beat. Hold on, let me get a bet in here. I have notifications on for the Portfolio EV app. And if good bets pop up, they disappear so quickly that I want to get them in before they're gone. And we are betting WNBA, which admittedly I don't know shit about. I don't intend on watching this, but I will bet it. Getting monster line movement on some of these too. Like I just bet an under 3.5 at plus 114 on rebounds. Sonia Citron, is that her name? Plus 114. It's minus 114 now. Alana Smith under 4.5 rebounds. I got it at plus 114 on FanDuel. What's it at now? Minus 152. Dude, these tools are so sick. I love it. And I just get notifications to my phone. I could be anywhere. I have to get my yearly physical today. I'll sit in the waiting room or I'll sit there because doctor's offices make you wait forever. And I'll just jam bets the whole time. They tell you to show up 15 minutes early. Only so you can wait 30 minutes until you're seen. I will show up 1 minute before I'm due. And you know what? Take your paperwork in, fill it in there because someone won't be able to see you for another 30 minutes. It's a joke. And I understand it's for people. It's because people show up late, but I don't have time. I don't have time to waste. But I will, if I do, I'm going to waste it by taking bets on Portfolio EV. Links in the description. You guys ever want to try it out? It's free for your first week. As always, the whole week is free. Just get as many bets as you can. Got 15 MLB games today, 3 WNBA games, the NBA finals coming up. I actually already got some prop bets in for the finals. So that should be fun. But yeah, the guys we're not getting to a lot of, let's go to the bottom. Sanchez, very little Sanchez. Palante, Shane Smith, Jacob Lopez, that's a tough spot. Big time total for Minnesota today. Tyler McGill, Kershaw, only 2% Drew Rasmussen, 4% Sugano, 6% Freddie Peralta, 6% Bowden Francis. So we don't have nothing. We have a little bit of him, little Bybee, 11% Kikuchi. But the guys we have 20+% of right now, for those of you guys that jumped in late, you can see it on the screen. In order of highest to lowest exposure within the Sims, 5,000 ran a contest or generated a contest, 5,000 field, 25% to first. Bayo, Strider, Greene, Lopez, and Kirby. That's our 1 through 5. Take a look at some stacks here as well. Yeah, there you go. Minnesota, 6.2 run implied total against the A's in that crazy hitter-friendly park. It's going to be hot there again today. Yeah, 83 degrees. Winds blowing out to left center at 10 miles per hour. Can't ask for more than that. By the way, this Kansas City and Royals or Cardinals game, 84 degrees, winds blowing out to left field at 14 miles per hour. I don't know how much of an impact that's going to have at this park, but the Cardinals do have a 4.9 run implied total against Michael Lorenzen, who I don't even think we mentioned once until right now. Yeah, I'll pass on that. Highest totals, Minnesota, Boston against Kikuchi, Dodgers against McGill, Detroit against Shane Smith. I like that. Atlanta against Zach Gallen. He's taken a step back, man. Philly against Bowden Francis and St. Louis against Michael Lorenzen. Top stack probability, Minnesota. That is nuts. That's like Coors Field style, honestly. So you've got a 12-game slate, 24 teams going today. And for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with how this top stacks tool works, you know, it's the probability that they're going to be the optimal stack on this slate. Now, mind you, 14% top stack probability still means you have an 86% chance of not being the top stack. So it doesn't mean we're just going to jam Minnesota in every lineup, especially given that we've got them projected for 16% ownership. So technically negative leverage there, but not significant. But no other team is above 6%. Philly and Detroit at 6%. Same with Boston. Minnesota really stands out against Jacob Lopez. And I think the reason for this too, for this ownership, and if I had to guess, let's see here, stack score's got to be through the roof. 14.8. No one else is above 6. Because look at the value score. 16.9%. So they have the highest total on the slate. They have the highest top stack probability. This, by the way, for those of you guys unfamiliar, once again, or for those of you familiar, you understand how rare, how unique this is. Highest total, highest stack score, highest ownership, but the highest value score as well. Usually the highest value score is going to bad teams with, modest team totals because they're bad teams and they're cheap. Minnesota's got a 6.2 run total. Highest on the slate, highest stack score, highest top stack probability. And they are by far the best value team on the slate as well. Outside of Byron Buxton, nobody's above 4,600. And if you exclude him and Matt Wallner, nobody is above 3,900 on this team today. So, all right, let's stop, filibustering all of this and figure out how much we're getting to. Okay, there you go. 14% 5-man, 9% 4-man, 8% 3-man stacks. So that's over 30% Minnesota stacks. I'm honestly fine with it. Perfectly fine with this. A lot of Boston against Kikuchi as well, particularly in the 5-man spot. Some LA against Bayo. And then we're just kind of sprinkling every other team. Minnesota, highest 4-man stack. Highest 3-man stack. Take a look at individual bats here. It's got to be a lot of Boston and Minnesota. Jaren Duran, Byron Buxton, Shohei Ohtani, a lot of those guys. Bobby Witt. Oh, okay. Don't mind that against Palante with those great park conditions today. Carlos Correa, another Minnesota guy. Trevor Story, Boston guy, 3,300. Is Boston value score up there as well? Yep. 4th best. That's why these tools are super helpful. You can really see why you're getting the plays. A lot of times you wouldn't do this on your own. Minnesota, you might today. But this helps us get out of our own heads, these tools. Devers, Royce Lewis, Boston, Minnesota again. Boston, and then LA. Willie Castro. Ohtani. Pasquantino. So some Kansas City bats are sneaking in here too. Ryan Jeffers, 33% at 3,700. And Narvaez at 15% for Boston. So Minnesota, Boston, Kansas City, LA. Is that what we're seeing a lot of here? How much Kansas City are we getting to? 5%. 5% 4-man too. Okay. All right, cool. So that gives us that really lays the foundation for us, gives us a pretty good idea of what we're sitting at here. Yep. Chris, Jaren Duran against Kikuchi, don't like that. Again, dude, sometimes just getting uncomfortable or getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is what you should be doing. It's very easy to not like individual matchups. But we're projecting him for 6% ownership. 6% ownership on a day where the Boston Red Sox have a 5.2 run total. Second highest of any team on the slate. Yeah. Jake, I'd feel better about Minnesota if they didn't carry so much pinch hit risk. Yeah, sure, but I think it's fair to say that at least some of that is accounted for in the price points, right? Like you're not paying a premium for any of those guys outside of Buxton. And outside of that, you're just getting like a ton of value. See if we got any homers up here on the board today. Been getting a lot of WNBA bets in Portfolio EV today, which is super helpful because it's one of the most profitable sports with this market-based approach. The books really don't know how to price WNBA. So when you can identify a sharp source there, it goes incredibly long way. Brian Reynolds, Anthony Volpe, plus 750 on FanDuel. Any spots we like here? Cronenworth, Wilson Contreras, Real Muto at plus 520. Oh, I love it. Love it. Penny's got him at plus 404 against Bowden and Francis. Guy coughs up a ton of power. Rami Gonzalez plus 520, like that. That's actually minus EV spot. I thought that was a plus EV spot. That can't be right. Penny's at plus 559. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Yo, let's why don't we take something down today? You got the mega immaculate inning. Lone Wolf, you guys charge a buttload. We really don't, though. I mean, if you go look at other services that have the like insane suite of tools that we have, not to mention, I tell you all the time, like if you hit me up, I'll get you a promo code that'll get you in at a more than respectable price. And we have a ton of different offerings, you know? There's a lot of different offerings. So no, it's not like, you know, it's not the cheapest, but it's because the tools are good. And MLB DFS is tough. But yeah, you see the stochastic avatars up top the leaderboard. There's a reason for that, man. But I get it. Look, it's not, and this isn't to disparage anybody. It's not, some people don't want to pay money for tools, and I totally get that. Come hang out, watch the free shows. I got nothing against that. It might be out of some people's price range. I totally get that. You know, you're doing this more just as like an enjoyable hobby. You'd rather watch shows, and if that's you, cool. I try and display a lot of the tools on the shows to help out for those of you watching for free anyway, you know? Like, I don't know about you. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I do a pretty decent job of displaying what the tools are giving us every day. And I would say it's gone a super long way for us in finding these leverage spots throughout the season, just going through it in the tools, not just for the strategy shows for the night slates, but for these early games, you know, where things are more updated. So yeah, come hang out, watch for free. Works for me. Otherwise, hit me up in the DMs or sign up. Dude, matter of fact, Lone Wolf, sign up on one of the sports books, deposit $5 and you have the Sims for a month for free, or deposit on 4 of them. That's $20 and you've got the Sims for free for 4 months. That's $480. So whenever anyone says the tools are expensive, no, you don't want them. And everybody who does want them, it's easy to get them. But yeah, and thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, we do what we can. Thanks, Hot Rod. Appreciate that, man. But yeah, dude, you can get the tools for $5 for a month. You can get 4 months for $20 with that link down there which says sign up with any of our sportsbook partners. That's literally cheaper than any other site you could get it from. You just got to take 10 minutes, deposit and place a bet. Well, I put $5 in. Tell me I got the Sims for a month. I put $5 in another site. Now I got the Sims for 2 months. And another one, I got PGA Sims for a month. Come on. We've done a lot of different things here to make it so anybody can check these tools out and win with them, man. And I don't think you were like trying to be insulting either, Lone Wolf. I'm just saying there's so many ways. There's so many ways. Aaron said it pays itself off real quick. Yeah. Ultra Plus, Sims are crushing. Pays for itself easily with the little work. Yeah, little attention, little work. And Michael, you'll always be at a disadvantage against those who use tools, especially in MLB. But come watch the shows for free, man. Makes no difference to me. Would I love you to check these tools out and use them with us? Obviously. Join the Discord, jump in, become part of the community. Yeah. But I know it's not for everybody. I like doing this show regardless. You know, I'd do it no matter what. So, yeah, Hot Rod, are you doing college football and NFL? I do college. Yeah, no, NFL. Yeah, that's my number one. And you know what? We do a ton of shows. I may add a show midweek and just go solo so we can get one more additional day of football. I'll talk football till I'm blue in the face, dude. If you're like, hey, you have to talk football for 8 hours today in mid-June, I would jump on it. I love football. It's a novelty, right? You only get it for a few months. You don't get it every day. It's the best. I can't wait. It's there's nothing like it. Incomparable. But I appreciate you guys. You're the best. For real. Hit that thumbs up before you go if you don't mind. And as I always said, many ways. Hit me up. Sign up on any of our sportsbook partners with the link. Join in the description. Come use the tools. Hang with us. Jump in the Discord or hang out in the free chat right here. Every show, Monday through Friday at 11 Eastern. Steven, are you a best ball bro yet, Dave? Dude, I've been playing best ball forever. I already drafted like 30 teams. But no, I'm not a best ball bro. I just enjoy playing best ball. But you're not going to see me tweeting out every team I draft every day. No, that's insufferable stuff. I do like those guys, but I don't need to see that on my timeline. I have enough shit on my timeline. But no, best ball is the best, dude. No transactions, no trades. I don't want to have to deal with someone offering me garbage every week. It's fun. Thanks, guys. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Live before lock. It should be 11 o'clock for a 12 Eastern, 12:10 slate. So we'll see you there. Good luck today. Let's get some Stokastic avatars at the top of that mega immaculate inning and come back to brag about it tomorrow. I have a sneaky suspicion one of us is going to make big things happen tonight. So let's do it. Later, guys.